Hello everybody. It is Sunday the 22nd of December. And my eyes were open to some truth yesterday about what it is we are, what it is we're in, what it is we're doing. And to be honest, I didn't sleep much this night. And it came to me that David Icke says he's leading an awakening, and he's not. He is in the perception bubble. He is himself in a perception bubble. That is Gnosticism. That bubble never went away. And when he says, I'm awakening, and he's pointing the fingers at others, saying, oh, they are still asleep, it is really a clear case, and I want to show you this here. It is a clear case of seeing the splinter in your brother's eye and not the beam in your own. Let's say the Gnostic perception bubble is the story of who you are and what it is you're in. And according to your perception, you create your life. Now, the story is, obviously, that this world was created by an evil creator god, the demiurge. Now, the Gnostics did vary in how they describe the demiurge. The Valentinian school would say it is ignorance. Yeah, he's just deluded and ignorant. The Cestian school would say he's downright evil. Yeah? Doesn't matter. Because in the end he's doing what he's doing, and it doesn't matter why he's doing it. It still creates the same outcome. Whether it's deliberate or out of ignorance, it doesn't matter. It still creates the same outcome. So that is what they believed. Yeah? And they believed themselves to be trapped. And again, matter being part of that trap. Being trapped in matter. That they were the divine sparks of the Creator and they needed to get out of this prison that was built by the evil Creator God. And everything came out of that perception. Everything they did, everything they said came out of that perception. Everything they taught came out of that perception as being the truth that they were in. Now, here comes Christianity. And I want to show you something. Christianity is actually still being in the same bubble. They are in the same perception bubble. They are also believing that this world was created by one creator God. Yeah? But instead of saying, and here is, they are only polarities within the same bubble. And polarities, here's a hermetic principle, is they're basically the same thing, only varying by degrees. And the polarity between Christianity and Gnosticism is, the Gnostics say we need to get out of here, we're being oppressed, we are imprisoned, we must get out. Whereas the Christians say this is the reality, there is a great creator God and we must serve him. We were created to serve him. And we must be what we were created to be. His will must be done. So you really have the polarity between obedience and rebellion. But they're both within the same bubble, within the same perception of what they are and what they're in. They've just chosen different sides. Now, if you look at the Gnostic teaching, perception. It says that Yaldabaoth, the one creator God, creates archons, beings that will serve him, that will do his will, that are the workers for his kingdom, so to speak. And that is what Christians are. They are the servants to that God. They are the reinforcers of his will. They are also finders of knowledge, but every knowledge they find will be given to him to serve him. And his judgment will decide what is done with that knowledge. Still inside the same bubble. We have not left. We have not gone anywhere. Now, there's great awakening at the moment, and the great awakening of David Icke. He's not waking up at all. He's dreaming that he's waking up, but he hasn't woken. He has not gotten out of the bubble. This new idea of the matrix. Yeah? Now let me say before that, of course the Christians are the servants to Yaldabaoth, in opposition to being the rebels. So their function is to maintain the bubble, to maintain the structure, and to expand the structure, which is what Christianity has done through the destruction of other thought bubbles, other beliefs that were in this world. They destroyed that and brought the people in to their own bubble, into their own perception bubble. That's what Christianity did. It destroyed other perception bubbles and it brought everybody in to their bubble, making them Christians. And of course, in going up against the Gnostics, they were going up against the rebels within their own bubble. They were enforcing the will of the one, going up against the rebels in their own bubble, destroying them. Now, let me go on. So this new awakening to this new idea, we are in a matrix. Yeah? The film The Matrix. And going from there, simulation theory. You are still in the same bubble. That's the thing, you have not woken up, you're still in the same narrative. The narrative has just taken a different form. It's no longer demons in the astral zone and archons. It is now a technological construct that you're in, but there is still a master. I don't know what they call him in the. I've forgotten what they've called him in the Matrix, but this master programmer that has created the entire Matrix. You're still in the same story. You're still in the same story. It is not a new enlightened knowledge for a new age. It is the old story rehashed in the words of a new age, and then in the understanding of a new age. You're still telling the same story. You're still creating the same perception of one that has created this big thing. You're being trapped in it. Perception hasn't changed. You're still in the same bubble. Simulation theory is taking this one step further. Still the same bubble. The idea of one or something that has created a reality and you are trapped in it. Nothing has changed. And you still have the Neos that are trying to escape the Matrix, the Gnostics, And you still have the Christians, which are now the Mr. Smiths, the algorithms that are there to uphold the matrix. The story hasn't changed. You're still in the same story. You're still in the same bubble. You have not woken up. You're dreaming that you're woken up, but you haven't. Now, again, the idea of the Gnostics, we need to get the hell out of here, which is obviously what David Icke is saying. He is on the rebel Gnostic side. Still in the same bubble of perception, but on the rebel Gnostic side. And then saying, we are all there ever was and ever will be. We are infinite possibilities. Let's just get out of this and to hell with the consequences. Right. Where are you going? What is your plan? And that is clearly, there is no plan. There is no way. There is no destination. It's only get out of here without a plan. Again, out of probably the perception that everything out there is so much greater anyway, so it doesn't matter. I don't think so. There are lots of bubbles out there. Lots of perception bubbles. You run from one into the other. That's all we ever do. Or we think we run into another bubble whilst remaining in the same one. I think that's what we're doing at the moment. We think we run into another bubble. We think we are creating a shift. We're not. We're going around the same circle. So without a plan, you're clueless. And it is the story in the Bible and everywhere else. You are in a structure that does sustain you, not in a good way. In fact, increasingly not in a good way. But you're going out into what? The wilderness, where there is nothing that will sustain you. You're destroying the matrix around you. You have nothing to replace it. You're just going out into nothing. And I really think that consciousness, as we are consciousness, needs a structure. It needs something that it can exist in. It needs order. We do need order. Everything else will be destructive to consciousness. We need to create an order where we give and receive of one another, where we sustain one another. It would be extremely hard for one to sustain themselves. Hermetic principle, as above, so below, as below, so above. In the physical, it is extremely hard for one to sustain themselves. We are better in a group. Working together makes us stronger. So we need a structure. I would say we need a structure. But a structure that is actually a change, not a rehash of the old story. You're not leaving the bubble, but something that is clearly a different bubble. That's what we need. A shift into a new awareness, a shift into a new perception, It is out of our perception that we create the reality. We need a new perception to create a new reality. To create a new change, a real change in this world, we need something that is truly a new perception. And here comes hermeticism. And first of all, it came to me that I watched also a program about the Kabbalion, and which brought back to my awareness what the Kabbalion actually says, and that is the hermetic principles are the keys that will unlock an understanding of what it is you're in. If you apply them, if you apply the keys, not if you keep repeating the words. Or many at the moment are quoting the hermetic principles in the way that others would quote Bible verses. You know, whenever it fits and it serves you, rattle it out. That's not the way. If you apply the principle of polarity, as I have done, looking at the Gnostics and the Christians, it actually opens the door to a truth. If you're looking for polarity, you see polarity. And it opens your eyes to what is actually there. That is applying the keys. But when I watched the thing about the Hermetics, I was actually surprised myself how far I am actually in that thinking myself. How far I have gone into Hermeticism. I wasn't actually aware of that. I am now, and I haven't changed my stance on that. I think it is the better way, a better perception of what it is we are and what it is we're in. You see, it is the Gnostics that are full on dual. Anything in that is dual. Any form of it, it doesn't matter which side you're on, it is dual. It is the idea of the separation between the material and the spiritual. That you need to get out of the material to get into the spiritual. And that is somehow a rise in consciousness. The Hermetics say it is all the same thing. They are non-dual. They are just, the material is just a reflection of the spiritual. But in essence they are one. They are one. They are the same thing. There is no separation. The Hermetics don't say this is a person, absolutely not. Everything that is creator is a reflection of the creator. It is all him. You cannot be separated from the reality of the creator because he is all. So there's nothing that can be outside of it. But also saying that everything does exist on different levels, you know, on the material, thought and energy, and whatever else comes. There is no, it is still the same thing. Yeah, the thing itself does not change. It just knows itself from a different perspective. But it is all the same thing. And then also going into the idea that is also, coming from there, that we can do things out of an awareness of another aspect of ourselves, another layer of ourselves. We can do things that cannot be done in the physical. Jesus, in what he did, in the miracles, was actually showing, and the way he spoke about the Creator as being everything and giving to everything. He's within you, he's all around you. That is actually hermetic thinking. Of course, then he veered off back into the Gnostic bubble of the one God that needs to be served, and then, needs to be served. He was not a rebel. The way of the cross is not the way of a rebel. That is becoming a Mr. Smith. And that, to me, actually was the fall of Lucifer. Gnostic bubble is way below, as far as I can see, way below the hermetic bubble. Right. So it is the idea, there is no trap. Everything is creator. In knowing what is around you, you know him. In knowing laws of nature, you know his laws. In knowing yourself on different levels, you know him on different levels. And then what should that knowledge serve? Again, in the Gnostic bubble, the knowledge either serves God to uphold the matrix, or it will serve you to get the hell out to you have no idea where. In the hermetic bubble, and I'd say that's another perception bubble, I would say so. It's probably not all, but in that bubble, knowledge is being given to serve that we can function better within the structure of the Creator. We know the knowledge of his laws, the true laws, the truth, because it is, you can see it in what is, it's evidence-based, you can see it in what is created. We know the laws, so we can work within the laws and not be destructive. And the laws are there to serve all. The Creator is all, and the laws are there to serve all. And we must know those laws so that we can be a good part of all. And if it serves all, it serves yourself, because you are a part of all. It's not, you're not doing it in service to others, you are a part of it. Those laws serve you as well as everything else. It is enlightenment to the laws, because out of ignorance you would do something completely could do something completely destructive. Not because you're evil, maybe not even because you mean to do something destructive. But again, he has cause and effect. The principle will work. Whether you know it's working or not, it's neither here nor there. It will work. So you're doing something, you are the cause, and whether you are doing that out of ignorance or knowingly, you still create the effect. And if the effect is destructive, it will be that. But knowing, understanding cause and effect should help you not to be destructive. And where we are becoming more and more the correct part in the all. Right. Now, the shift from agnostic thinking into hermetic thinking would actually constitute a real change, because they are actually different from each other. It is not a rehash of the old story over and over and over again, but it is actually clearly different, completely different perception of what it is we are and what it is we're in. We are not in a prison. In fact, the hermetics say this is a school. This is where we learn the truth of the Creator, to become that. Again, I hear people like the Inspired channel. John was sitting there saying, well, some say this is a school and you learn life lessons, and I call bullshit on that. That's what he actually said. And then he says, no, there is an underlying reality. This is just a perception prison and we need to get out of it. Jean, you are agnostic. And you are hitting on hermeticism. That's what you're doing. Be aware. Be awake to what it is you're actually doing, what it is you're in, and what it is you're actually doing. See your own perception bubble that you're in. Anyway, so that would actually create a real shift. And that is not where we are going, or we just get out of here and we don't know where to, just to hell with the consequences. But we are going with our eyes open, seeing a new possibility and going toward it. And that is, again, we're not going into all possibilities, we're going from one into another. That's all we're doing. But we're doing it with our eyes open. We know what it is we're doing. We are creating the shift whilst being awake to what it is we're doing. And again, if there is a real shift, a real rebirth into a new perception, then you are creating a real change. If you become according to that new change, you will be a new course that will create a different outcome. That is the way we will actually create a different outcome. As long as the course just takes on a different form, it will not create a different outcome, because it is what it is and it will create what it creates. It has not changed. Only if we create a real shift into something that is actually different will we create a new world. Truly a new world. Again, in the other, you're only creating the old world in a new way. But that does not really change. You have not changed. There is no change. It just looks different. So, I would say Gnosticism, in all its form, in all the forms that it takes, Gnosticism in its duality of for or against, in its polarity of for and against, Gnosticism in its duality of matter and spirit being separate, matter being a prison. I think Gnosticism has had its day. It has had its day. 2,000 years at least, if not longer. Been going around that circle. We know what it creates. We live in the world, we live in the outcome. We are experiencing the outcome. We know what it creates. And it's not good. It absolutely is not good. What is created out of that perception bubble is not good. Will hermeticism create a good world? You can already reason that it should be better than the other bubble. I mean, to be quite honest, Gnosticism already is starting from a perception of doom and gloom. Yeah? I mean, evil creator God, prison. I mean, it's starting from a perception of doom and gloom, and I don't know how you can create light from that. It doesn't create light. It just creates itself over and over again, its own doom and gloom over and over again. So say hermeticism would create actually something different. That would be a real shift into something that is really different. I believe so. And as I said, we need to do something completely different, to create something completely different. There needs to be a shift into something that is truly different. Hermeticism is that. I'm proposing it because it is already in this world. It has already been in this world for a long time. I mean, unless somebody can come up with something, a perception of what it is we are and we are in, that is truly different. Again, not a rehash of the old story, but somebody else can come up with something that is truly different. Well, there's another possibility then, another way, another destination to which we may go. But now I don't see another one. I don't know another one. I mean, you know another one, let me know. So yeah, I would say we should give hermeticism a try. Yeah, don't dismiss outright, oh, this is, this is not a school, this is not a world, there's nothing we can learn. We just need to get out of here. As I say, the one way you can prevent somebody from learning anything is them believing there's nothing to learn, or that they can't learn, or that there's nothing here to learn. That is one sure way of keeping them in ignorance. And they will think themselves enlightened to the truth. There's nothing here to learn. Again, Gnosticism is ignorance. It is an ignorant beast. It is an ignorant bubble. And it will find tons of different ways of trapping people within their own within its own bubble. It will create many, many stories that will trap people within there. And sometimes they believe they're going somewhere else and they're not. I would say choose another way. Choose another thought. Choose a completely different perception. Do it with your eyes open, knowing where it is you're going, doing it out of your own free will, making that choice, doing it in awareness. And let's see where that would take us. We know where Gnosticism is taking us. We've experienced it for thousands of years. Why don't we try the other way? Just try it. To see where that would take us. What kind of a world that would create. And as long as we are aware of that is what we are doing, that we're only trying another possibility, that possibility is not the only truth. As long as we keep being aware of that is what we're doing, we will always be able to change. It will not become a trap. And then we can expand from one thought into another thought. If the outcome is bad, shift. And then we could be on a way of light, instead of being trapped in a bubble of darkness. Anyway, here folks, I leave it at that for today. The only true shift at the moment, I would say, would be a shift from Gnosticism into hermeticism. That's a shift I can see. That's a possibility I can see. Why don't we try it? Anyway, here I leave it at this, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.